We've spoke to Louis de Cubas, we want that fight. I understand they have a mandatory, which they're talking about taking, but Fundora is actually the guy that Boots wants most. Next, that's the fight that he said, if I had any preference, I would want Fundora.
Eddie Hearn and Jaron Boots Ennis have made their intentions unmistakably clear, openly setting their sights on unified super welterweight champion Sebastian Fundora. Their mission is to secure a blockbuster showdown at 154 pounds, a fight that could ultimately decide who truly deserves to be recognized as the king of the division.
Yo, who you want, man?
I want Fundora. Bring on that tall, what is he, tall tower or whatever?
Tall Inferno.
We're gonna chop him down.
Reinforcing that same message, Bozy Ennis revealed that his son currently has only one opponent in mind, Sebastian Fundora. According to Bozy, Boots is completely locked in on capturing the unified champions titles and has no interest in looking toward any other challenge until that goal is achieved. Bozy Ennis also outlined what he believes is the perfect strategy for defeating Fundora. Simply marching straight forward against someone with such incredible reach won't be enough. Instead, he feels Boots must rely on clever feints, sharp angles, and carefully timed traps to draw the towering champion into uncomfortable positions where costly mistakes are far more likely to happen.
They normally don't have to move and come after nobody. The guys normally come to them. So you gotta switch up sometime. Make them come to you and set them up. You know what I mean? Even though you're supposed to box your way in and go to the body and the head, sometimes you gotta switch it up though. You know what I mean? You can't be doing what they think you're gonna do. Do stuff that they don't think you want.
He also highlighted what he considers a vulnerability in Fundora's defense that could ultimately decide the outcome of the fight. Bozy believes the champion briefly leaves openings during exchanges, and those moments can be punished with fast, flowing combinations that gradually set up one perfectly timed finishing punch capable of ending the contest.
You gotta kick them punches together when you're fighting a guy like Fundora. You know what I mean? Then later on, you stick that shot in and try to take him out. You know what I mean? That right hand, you know what I mean? But every time Fundora fights, he drops his hands. He's so tall, he drops his hands. That's when you slide in and drop down and come up, boom, with the right hand and left hook behind. Not just one shot, you know what I mean? Just in case you miss with the right hand. But you gotta get in. You gotta get in sometime. You know what I mean? There's sometime I would switch up. You know what I mean? Frustrating.
Fundora has already shown that he is more than willing to accept the challenge. The unified champion acknowledged the increasing calls for a showdown with Boots and confirmed that Ennis sits at the very top of his own list of potential opponents, suggesting this highly anticipated fight should happen sooner rather than later.
There's a name calling me out right now, so I think Ennis would be the first one.
Fundora also shared his thoughts after watching Ennis compete in his first appearance at 154 pounds. He explained that it only took a few rounds to understand what Boots brings into the ring. While giving Ennis credit for an impressive performance, Fundora suggested he already has a solid picture of how a future clash between them would likely unfold.
His last win, you know, I mean, he looked good. He looked good doing his thing. He looked like he had fun as well. So it's nice to see I mean, he's been a champion before, but a fresh face in 154. I mean, we saw that third round. That was enough for me to see what I needed to see, but it'll be an entertaining fight.
Even before the public callouts began gaining momentum, Boots had already been studying Fundora closely. Ennis questioned the champion's movement and overall speed while expressing complete confidence in his own punching power. He believes he's the fighter everyone at 154 pounds should be chasing and insists Fundora won't be able to handle everything he brings into the ring.
It don't matter what he do. I feel like he can't. He's too slow. He don't move his head. Like, he getting better, but I'm gonna be too much for him. What I got coming to him, he not gonna be able to take. I'm saying that now. I'm the cash cow of this division. If anybody want to fight, they're gonna make the most money fighting me than anybody else. So I feel like I'm the cash cow of this division.
Discussing his early observations, Boots described Fundora as an extremely tall fighter who depends heavily on constant pressure and aggressive inside work. Although he plans to study more film before making final conclusions, his initial impression was that Fundora's overall style remains fairly straightforward despite his unusual size and physical advantages.
I don't know. He's just tall. He's tall. Like I said, I can watch him, so I can't really give you explain. Like, when the time comes, I'll watch him. But as of right now, I just from this little stuff that I be seeing, it's like he's just a tall pressure fighter.
Highly respected trainer Robert Garcia shared his evaluation of Ennis, praising his exceptional talent while expressing concerns about certain defensive habits. Garcia noted that Boots occasionally allows himself to absorb clean punches, creating opportunities that elite-level opponents could eventually take full advantage of if those mistakes continue.
Look, Boots showed the heart, the skills, the power to be able to compete and dominate against any of the top 4-pounders. But he also showed that he gets clipped and he got hurt. So, him against Fundora.
Even while admiring Ennis's tremendous ability, Garcia ultimately leaned in Fundora's favor. He believes the unified champion continues improving with every performance, and his awkward combination of height and reach creates a unique puzzle that even a gifted fighter like Boots could find extremely difficult to solve inside the ring.
But I pick Fundora. Fundora it's been improving and getting better. Since he lost his fight and then became champion, he's getting better and better and better every time he fights. He's 6'8", 9", whatever, 6'9".
6'6", but still tall.
Tall model.
He hits hard, yeah.
He's got good power, and you know, he's been knocked out. But how easy?
Mendoza.
Yes, but how easy are you gonna connect? How easy are you gonna? You know, it's not gonna be easy. Plus,
Erickson Lubin had some success too.
Plus, like I said,
but he still beat him. Yeah.
But this was before he became champion. Now that he's champion, he's getting better and better and better.
Former world champion Fernando Vargas offered a balanced perspective, recognizing Boots as one of boxing's brightest young stars while emphasizing the confidence and momentum Fundora currently carries into every fight. In Vargas' opinion, Ennis is incredibly dangerous, but the reigning unified champion is performing at an exceptionally high level right now.
He's in trouble, but I think right now that, you know, Fundora is
Paulie Malignaggi also shared his thoughts, describing the matchup as one of the hardest fights in boxing to predict. He explained that Fundora's extraordinary height, natural leverage, and genuine punching power combine to create an unusual style that makes selecting a clear winner extremely difficult for anyone analyzing the contest.
And Fundora, of course, is a very difficult guy to deal with. Listen, Fundora is going to be difficult to deal with for anybody. And so, Ennis and Fundora, I really would get excited for Ennis and Fundora. That's a really good fight. And for me, that's not an easy fight for either of them. That's a tough fight to call. Fundora, listen, Fundora is an awkward fight for anybody because of the height and the power that he's got at that weight. But really, to break it down, it would be interesting, and it's a really weird, strange fight to try to figure out who.
Malignaggi also believes Fundora has quietly corrected many of the defensive weaknesses that troubled him earlier in his career. He feels the champion has become far more patient, composed, and disciplined inside the ring, transforming himself into a significantly tougher opponent than he was just a few years ago.
He's been knocked down, all that other stuff, and yes, a lot of blowhards will talk about that. Oh, this guy dropped and this guy hurt him, but I think Fundora's actually gotten a lot better. I think Fundora, the last couple of fights, has really looked a lot better. He's less hittable, fighting in a more cerebral way. He's eliminated some of the flaws in his style while keeping some of the strengths, you know, like keeping the strength. So for me, it's made him an even more difficult guy to deal with. And he was a difficult guy to deal with even with the flaws. But now that you have these improvements in Fundora's game and Fundora's style, I think he becomes.
Former world champion and analyst Chris Algieri echoed that opinion by highlighting the steady improvements Fundora has made since suffering the only defeat of his professional career. According to Algieri, the champion now makes much better use of his jab and enormous reach, allowing him to control distance while maximizing every physical advantage he possesses.
Fundora is such a difficult puzzle. He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages.
Teddy Atlas focused on Fundora's relentless work rate, explaining that the champion constantly pumps his lead hand to wear opponents down both mentally and physically over the course of a fight. Atlas said that non-stop pressure and high punch output make Fundora exhausting to deal with, even though his lengthy frame can still leave occasional openings for well-timed counterpunches.
He is a little better, but still, he is coming after you behind that jab. He doesn't stop. I don't know what his punch numbers are. They got to go through the roof. I think he jabs in his sleep. I think that he's, like if you went in and you peeked in on him when he's sleeping like this. With that southpaw jab. He's coming out of the locker room. I think when he's eating dinner. He never stops. He don't leave you alone. And he's coming forward. He's always putting pressure. He's breaking you down. And then he puts punches together nice. He goes to the body, he throws uppercuts. You know, he puts them together real well. But
looking specifically at the battle on the inside, Atlas believes Ennis's pinpoint accuracy could become one of the biggest factors in the fight. He pointed out that Fundora's unusually long body creates a large target, while memories of his previous stoppage defeat suggest that sharp, accurate counters could still expose those lingering vulnerabilities.
It's a little tougher, but he's going to pressure because that's what he does. He's a fighter. And when he does, he is a target. He's a tall target. And is a sharpshooter. He'll find that target. And there's one other, and I'll leave it at that. Not only his head is a tall, and he's been knocked out once, we know that, but not only is his head a target, there's a tall, skinny body, lean body that's going to be a target for a guy who's a really...
Former two-division world champion Danny Garcia praised Fundora's remarkable physical attributes, describing his towering southpaw frame as one of the toughest challenges anywhere in boxing. Garcia believes the smartest solution is to close the distance immediately, smother the champion, and prevent him from fully taking advantage of his extraordinary reach.
Gives anybody problems. Just because he's 6'7", 154 pounds, southpaw. They made him in a lab somewhere. Where he's from? Where he's from? Texas, San Antonio? Huh? Who? Just gotta get up, get in his chest.
Sean Porter reminded fans that watching highlights of a fighter is completely different from actually standing across the ring from someone like Sebastian Fundora. While Ennis has looked dominant against nearly every opponent, Porter believes Fundora's rare combination of size, reach, and awkward style presents a completely different type of challenge.
Let's just for the sake of the analogy, it's like you see, and we'll use Jamie Foxx as an example. That's my guy. So let's say there's one thing on screen, and then off screen, he's a completely different person. You just don't know, So on screen, Boots looks like he's supposed to beat Sebastian Fundora because he's so fast, because he's so electric, because he's shown tremendous power, because he's shown so many different movements and techniques, and everything jumps off the screen when it's Boots Ennis. But then when you got, like I always like to say, another weapon standing across from you, negating some of the things you do, forcing you to turn off.
Porter also questioned whether Ennis's team sometimes relies too heavily on his natural talent instead of building detailed, opponent-specific game plans. He believes Fundora's careful preparation before every fight is one of the major reasons the unified champion has developed into such a dangerous and difficult opponent.
Thing that makes this guy dangerous to Boots. What I feel I know about Boots, I don't know if they game plan. To me, it seems like Boots is like, and Dad Bozy, we just gonna get you ready. Can't nobody get you. Well, sometimes you gotta get ready for the guy across from you. And what I now know about this dude, he getting ready for who's across from him. And that's why I'm breathing like that, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, he's gonna be ready, he's gonna have the right weapons, and he's gonna be calling on the right weapons all night long. I have no doubt.
Continuing that point, Porter stressed that natural talent alone will never guarantee victory. He believes Boots must make the right tactical decisions at the right moments because discipline, patience, and intelligent execution will be absolutely critical against an opponent with Fundora's unique physical advantages and awkward style.
16 plus weapons that Boots got. Boots be like this.
Yeah.
You gotta, bruh. With this one right here, it's gotta be, all right, shotgun, don't. All right, stab him, all right, done. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta be pulling out the right things at the right time. We gotta be prepared to come to the ring with 8 weapons that we know we need against this dude. Not 16 weapons because we got 16. And to me, that's the difference between a Boots Ennis and a...
Trainer Greg Hackett compared the matchup to a skilled predator patiently stalking its prey. In his opinion, once Boots begins finding his rhythm against the taller champion, the pressure will continue building round after round until it eventually becomes too overwhelming for Fundora to handle effectively.
You ever see like when a tiger go after a giraffe and they be working him out? Even though he's tall, he be trying little shit, he be doing little shit. It's just hard to get the motherfuckers off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like a tiger and a giraffe. One of them. Like once.
Claressa Shields gave Ennis tremendous praise, calling him one of the elite fighters competing at 154 pounds while acknowledging the unique challenges created by Fundora's incredible size. Even so, she believes Boots possesses every necessary tool and ability required to overcome that difficult challenge inside the ring.
Be fair and give Boots his due. Right now at 154, he is the man. And a big challenge for him will be Fundora. Fundora is a big challenge for anybody because of how long he is in his height. But Boots has enough in his arsenal, I feel.
Shields also delivered an important warning. She explained that Ennis cannot afford the defensive lapses or balance issues that have appeared in some previous fights when facing someone as physically imposing as Fundora. In her opinion, discipline, smart execution, and complete focus will be absolutely essential from the opening bell until the final round.
Smart. He can't make the same mistake he made getting hit with that straight jab and that right against Zayas that he can't do that with Fundora. Cannot. Will not. Cannot do that. And also cannot do that while a little wobbly on my legs either. So that's the only thing he did wrong to me was fighting after that. Like him fighting on wobbly legs, should have moved around, jab, whatever. Be smart. So, to me, he got...
Bernie the Boxer views this contest as one of the closest matchups anywhere in the division. He pointed to the impressive way Fundora bounced back after suffering a knockout defeat, saying the champion returned mentally stronger, smarter, and more confident instead of allowing that setback to define him, making this fight a genuine toss-up.
But I'm saying that's a tough task. You know, I'm saying that man 6'6", you know, he boxing and you know, he didn't took that loss. And I feel like, you know, he didn't came back and he learned a lot. You know, it didn't ruin him, you know, because that was a bad knockout he took. But, you know, he's not gun shy, and he's boxing smarter. So, you know, that's why. So I would say that's a 50-50 fight.
Breaking down the exchanges at close range, Bernie explained that Fundora is surprisingly comfortable fighting on the inside despite possessing such enormous reach. At the same time, he believes Ennis's blazing hand speed, explosive combinations, and sharp uppercuts could ultimately become the deciding factors in what promises to be a massive unification showdown.
He can fight on the inside too, though. Fundora can fight on the inside too. You know, and he's not afraid to mix it up. So, I mean, he's a challenge for anybody. But to see Boots break that range, and you know, but Boots got them fast twitch punches. The inside, he go to uppercut. Did you see they got caught with that uppercut? If he beat Fundora, it won't be undisputed. You know. Yeah. So you know, that'll be the undisputed. So that'll be the high stakes. You know, that'll be everything.
Sean Zittel gives the advantage to Ennis, pointing to his explosive punching power, superior versatility, and more complete overall skill set. He expects the contest to end in dramatic fashion, predicting that Boots will eventually break Fundora down before scoring a convincing knockout victory.
He's explosive, he's ferocious. It's a great fight. I think I give the edge to Ennis, though, just because he's a little more talented and a little bit more dynamic.
You go knockout or decision?
Knockout.
Coach Breadman Ennis envisions an all-action battle reminiscent of some of boxing's greatest classic wars. He believes Ennis must relentlessly target Fundora's body to reduce the impact of the champion's height advantage, and says Boots possesses the toughness, discipline, and aggressive mindset required to succeed in that type of demanding fight.
I think that I picked Boots to beat George. I think that Boots and Fundora is an absolute Hagler-Hearns type of shootout. I think Boots is mean as a rattlesnake. He's gonna have to step to Fundora. I don't know if his jab, especially to the head, will be that effective against a guy that's 6'6". So you have to jab him to his body a lot and kind of step to him. And I think he's with that.
Who do you believe comes out on top in this enormous 154-pound showdown? Does Jaron Boots Ennis score the stoppage and become the unified champion, or does Sebastian Fundora successfully defend his titles once again?